We are now 3 games into the Shantae series on this channel, but this game was the one I got the most messages about. Half Genie Hero is the Shantae game that many people who were not familiar with the series played as their first exposure to it. Maybe because it was literally on every platform, or the game has the most visibility in terms of marketing. Who knows? But either way, let's take a look at the 4th installment of the series, Half Genie Hero. So Half Genie Hero was actually crowdfunded through Kickstarter, which is now a very popular way to get your games funded by the fans. Games that bigger publishers would not bother with or make the investment for. So many awesome indie projects came from Kickstarter. Hat in Time, Shovel Knight, Freedom Planet, and now Shantae Half Genie Hero. Good job, guys. Now, in terms of the story, it's not anything we haven't seen before. We have all of Shantae's Scuttletown family here, the relic of Seth's uncle, Bolo, who is completely girl crazy in this game, Sky, who is your means of transportation, and Risky Boots, who's the main villain. Now, if you got the true ending in Pirate's Curse, you know that Shantae got her magic back and now is more confident than ever. Risky Boots is threatening to extract the power from the genie world and the living world for her own personal power trip, so Shantae and the gang must put a stop to this. Now, I will note, you do travel to other stages, but they feel more like self-contained stories when it comes to the overarching plot. Each stage has their own problems and themes, so it's fine in that regard. In terms of the presentation and characterization, Half Genie Hero knocks it out of the park. This game has beautiful 2D sprite work and amazing visuals. In terms of aesthetics, Shantae and her crew has never looked better. Everything from the stage design to the music is top notch, so props to Wayforward for this. In terms of the gameplay in the game itself, I found Shantae fans to be kind of split on this game, whether it's better than Pirate's Curse or the other way around. And honestly, I think it really just boils down to your personal preference in terms of playstyle. Pirate's Curse plays more like a Metroidvania, tons of backtracking, dungeons, and using items you find to reach new heights and areas. Half Genie, on the other hand, is more platforming and linear progression, with a little bit of backtracking here and there. Half Genie also brought back the animal transformations, and honestly, I didn't really miss them. I love using Risky's items in the last game, but I know long-term Shantae fans may or may not debate me on that. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love this game. The controls are great, using the animal transformations are fun, being able to use moves like the pike ball and fire are still fun, and now that Shantae has her magic back, you no longer have to worry about stocking up on these in the shop. Shantae still has her iconic hair whip, and you can also upgrade that as well. One thing I love, the animal transformations are much smoother to pull off, and not as pace-breaking as they were in Risky's Revenge. Speaking of the animal transformations, there are more of them to choose from. I still have my favorites like the super agile monkey and the mermaid, but we also have new additions like the crab and the forms. You will need to use these transformations to reach new areas in the stage to most likely get an item you need to move on in the story. I find most of these transformations very situational, and many of them I only use when I absolutely needed to. You can also find individual attacks for your animal transformations that may come in handy as well. The bosses in this game are a step up from the previous entries. They are more visually interesting and definitely great to play through. The standout boss to me visually would have to be the Giga Mermaid. I absolutely love the way this boss is animated and looks. Giga Mermaid is far from difficult, but it's still a great time. This game as a whole is not as difficult as previous games, but I feel it hits the sweet spot in terms of the difficulty. Now, for this review, I am playing the Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLC that was previously released and packaged into a nice collection. The DLC has some really cool things here, one being the Pirate Queen's Quest, which is an alternate storyline featuring Risky Boots. She has her own moveset, and you can use her items from the last game. Friends to the End follows Bolo, Sky, and Roddy Tops in this puzzle platforming adventure. Very fun. Ninja mode is probably my favorite because it reminds me of old Ninja Gaiden and Strider games. Shantae is a ninja who is very agile and quick. This is really fun for that arcade run and also playing on Twitch. Beach and Jammy modes can be summed up as cool cosmetic modes that has certain mechanics to match their overall aesthetic. Nothing special here. Speaking of cosmetics, in the main game, if you're playing the Ultimate Edition, you have the choice to use Shantae's red or blue costumes for the adventure. It's pretty cool. Overall, Half Genie Hero is a great action platformer. Despite the game being a departure of what made the original Shantae games great, this game is still a very solid entry in the series. The presentation is top notch and the 2D sprite quality is fantastic. The music is the best it has been in the series so far, and the boss battles are visually stimulating. If I were to give any negatives for this game, it's the backtracking. Very minor complaint, but in a game that is more so focused on platforming, it felt weird having to backtrack through stages again. Now, you can purchase the Warp Dance, which makes this a little easier, but still very minor. Buy Half Genie Hero. It has tons of charm, and you can tell Wayforward put tons of love in this project. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.